Any of those 1,500 that you've been around him with, any that stand out the most to you? Do you have any personal highlights?
Oh, there's been a few. I remember there was a game in L.A. that I think we'd been shut out a couple games in a row, and he played a game in L.A. and I think he had 11 or 12 hits and 9 shots on goal, and I think we ended up losing in overtime or something, and he had both our goals, and it just. I walked out. I called him Bobby Boucher, the water boy, after that. He did everything for us. So there's some games like that he just, when he put his mind to it, he could really dominate a game. And there's lots of good times when he scored big goals for us. And certainly remember my first year here, and when he got hurt in playoffs or just before playoffs, I think it was, hurt his shoulder, and he was like an ornery bear not being able to play there. So there's some times like that off the ice that have been lots of fun with the owner.
Dave, tomorrow's game's kind of a unique situation with Auston Matthews coming here. Would you encourage hockey fans here in the Valley to come out and just kind of join in the experience of seeing a homegrown talent like Auston play here for the first time?
Well, there's lots of homegrown talent that have come out of here, but nobody that has the potential that Auston has. He's when you get taken first overall in the draft, and unique situation with not just first overall in the draft, but gets drafted to what many would call the hockey capital of the world. So it's a couple ends of the spectrum, but he's I've been fortunate to get to know him a little bit through the World Cup and stuff, and just a very humble guy, very appreciative of all the experiences he's got playing hockey in Arizona, and now he's gone on to a big stage of the NHL and done very well, and it speaks volumes for the people that have put so much work into developing hockey in Arizona, and to have a talent like that come out of here, it's a credit to them, but also very much a credit to Auston, and the work that he's put in.
In that sense, Dave, I mean, it's somewhat, he's your competitor tomorrow night, but it's almost a point of pride for the franchise here, right? Because if you weren't, this team never moved here, he might not have ever been on this track. So I know you guys are adversaries tomorrow, but that's a legacy of the team being here for 20 years, right?
Yeah, and it's a unique situation because you're in a non-traditional hockey market. I mean, there's, so you're focusing on that a lot. I mean, if you focused on the Toronto area, there's hundreds of players that come out of it. So it's a little bit of a different take on it, but it's certainly, I mean, when a young player starts playing hockey because he likes a player like Shane Doan, or likes what an organization are doing, or just likes the sport in general, and goes on to the heights he has, it's, the organization's got to feel good about inspiring a young player to play.
Maybe one day it won't be a story, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the hope. Maybe
that maybe should be the story. One day it's not that big a story. Although anywhere you go, like a number 1 pick is, I mean, that's a big story. But the numbers of kids coming out of here hopefully will continue to increase because it's a good program, and they don't have the number of kids playing that other places have, but they've got some real quality kids coming out of here. So it's, it speaks very well of the way things have been run down here, and it speaks very well, and I can only, from the ex-NHL players living around here, I think it's unbelievable how many of these guys have got involved in minor hockey and really tried to help out, and a lot of them because their sons have played and stuff like that, but they're a lot of credit to the Coyotes Alumni Association, how involved they are, but also players that have just made this their home and continue to try to build the game in the Valley. It's been a great asset to the organization.